Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out the movie Before Sunrise, and I wasn't originally going to watch this movie today, or didn't even know this movie existed, but then on Letterboxd, 3 people that I follow on Letterboxd reviewed this movie like back to back to back, and every single person that reviewed it gave it a 5 out of 5, and so I was really interested in watching this movie, and it has Ethan Hawke in it. I love that guy. And then I found out that there's 3 of them, and that there's not just 3 of them, but each of these 3 movies have amazing reviews. And then I found out that each of these 3 movies were also made years apart. So you know what? I'm going to be watching all 3 of these movies of the Before trilogy, I guess you can call it. I'm actually really excited for it. Sometimes you just need a good romance movie in your life, and I think that this is a romance movie. It might be a drama as well. I don't know what this movie's about. I don't know what the other 2 movies are about, but I'm really excited to check out this franchise, not even franchise, I guess just this movie series, because of how positive the reviews are for each and every single one of these movies. And before we get into this reaction, if you'd like to check out more of my reactions, you can head over to my Patreon, where I have uncut reactions to many of the movies I watch on YouTube, as well as early access reactions that come out 1 week early. There are also 2 exclusive Patreon movies a month that you guys on Patreon get to choose, so thank you so much if you check it out. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, let's sit and watch the sunrise. Let's watch the sunrise on this beautiful movie, which will hopefully be beautiful. I'm assuming this movie is going to be beautiful. I want this movie to make me like laugh and cry and just have a really sweet and wholesome time. That's kind of what I want from this film. But I hope you enjoy my reaction to Before Sunrise. Ethan Hawke. I love it. I love him. I love the music already. I'm gonna like this movie. The score is already fantastic. Like, actually fantastic. Good job, Richard. Let's see this movie. And he directs the other 2 movies as well, so that's pretty exciting. You're taking up 2 seats, Mr. Hawke. I could have sat next to you. She is angry. Look, there's an extra seat next to him. She should sit there. And everyone breathes a sigh of relief in the train car.
Men lose their ability to hear higher pitch sounds, and women eventually lose hearing on the low end. I guess they sort of nullify each other.
Wait, that's actually really cool if that's true. It's always interesting to see what people are reading. So unique in terms of topics.
Wow.
How do you speak such good English?
Me? I'm American.
You're
You
American?
can't tell?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I love her.
I stood in line at the metro station. I was practicing. Un billet, s'il vous plaît. Un billet, s'il vous plaît.
Un
you know?
billet. My classes start next week.
Oh, you're still in school? Where do you go?
Yeah, La Sorbonne, you know?
Sure.
No, he does not know.
I don't really know what I'm on. You know?
Okay.
I'm just traveling.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Ethan.
Around Europe been good for you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's been, it sucked. You know?
I love this conversation. It's so real.
I can see it, like 24 boring hours. Sorry, and like a 3-minute sex scene where he falls asleep right after.
She's nailed it.
Play continuously, because it'd have to play all the time, or else it just wouldn't work.
Thank you.
You know how good that conversation was from a screenplay standpoint? The awkward pauses at the start where they weren't quite sure how to talk to each other, and then they slowly get into it, more laughing. It was just a perfect conversation.
This constant conversion of my fanciful ambition into this practical money-making ventures.
I think every one of you can feel that at some point.
Playing, and my sister had just taught me how to take the garden hose and do it in such a way that it sprayed into.
I know how to do that. I know how to do that.
You're really lucky you can have this attitude toward death. I think I'm afraid of death 24 hours a day.
Who is it? Let's be honest. I am.
Of consciousness. Before you're gonna die. You know, when you know for sure you're gonna die.
Those are probably the scariest seconds of your life.
You get a fear, no?
Yeah, what a drag. I wish I made
Or
it earlier, you know, I really...
don't get off the train. Oh, she's still sitting at the table.
But I feel like we have some kind of connection, right?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. Well, great. So listen, here's... I don't know. All I know is I have to catch an Austrian Airlines flight tomorrow morning at 9:30, and I don't really have enough money for...
Before sunrise, so they have a whole night, an afternoon. Oh my god.
Go, you know, you just get on the next train. All right. Think of it like this.
They have one day together, basically. Oh, I'm gonna love this.
Right? Well, I'm one of those guys. That's me. You know, so think of this as time travel from... I'm just as big as loser as he is, totally unmotivated, totally boring, and you made the right choice and you're really happy.
He's convinced me.
Let me get my bag.
Ah, yes!
He always calls me Jesse.
You mean Jesse James? No.
No, just Jesse.
I'm Celine.
Jesse and Celine. I was wondering if they said their names yet, because I was trying to figure out what their names were.
Excuse me. Sprechen Sie English?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? Good.
Do you speak German for a change?
Oh my god.
Why did you come to Vienna? What could you be expecting?
We're on honeymoon.
Oh, that works.
They are also in politicians,
Russians,
Mexicans,
yes.
Russians,
Communists.
So you have a real cat?
That sounds like an amazing play.
and he's the cow.
Yes, I am the cow, and the cow's a bit weird.
The cow has a disease.
She's acting a bit strange.
I love these two.
Wilmington's cow.
Yeah. I'm Wilmington's cow.
All right.
Great.
We'll try to be there.
Will you be there?
Yeah, we'll try.
I'm the cow.
You're the cow.
Aww, I really hope they go because I love those two so much.
While now, we're stuck together, so we're gonna ask each other a few direct questions. All right?
So we ask each other questions.
Oh, he has the arm around. Smooth.
Sexual feelings towards a person.
Wow, that really was direct.
Big question, yeah. And you turn to me and say, well, that's too bad. Because I have a big crush on you.
Oh, Jean-Marc Fleury has got it.
I swim a few times at
Yeah.
the swim competition, and he was so sexy. Really, I mean, really sexy. You know, we kind of wrote this little dick.
So sexy. Really, really sexy.
Yes, your turn. Hit me.
Have you ever been in love?
Oh,
Yes.
I think he might have been running away from love. That's why he went to Europe.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
Do you know
yeah.
Crystal?
No.
You don't know Crystal? Well, I knew Crystal.
Oh my god.
Is it my turn now? Okay.
Dude,
Tell
this
me
camera
something
shot,
that pisses
they just
you
put the
off.
camera down on a tripod
Really drives you crazy.
and are just letting the characters do their thing. And that's what this movie has done so well so far. Camera has barely moved. Just these long takes of characters talking.
Wear black or like lose my temper or say anything about anything. You know, they always go, oh, it's so French, it's so cute. Ugh, I hate that.
Yeah, I would hate that too if that ever happened to me. I mean, it wouldn't, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Now, if we all have our own, like, individual, unique soul, right, where do they all come from? You know, our modern...
That is a good question.
Which is kind of why it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It is an interesting thought.
off
I'll
his
give
damn
him that. It's interesting. Dude, that whole scene was phenomenal. It was just one shot. The characters did their thing for what, like 8 minutes or something like that? Oh my god.
I think she's American. A friend of mine told me about her.
Do you want to go see if that listening booth still works?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they both looked at each other at different moments. Oh, then she looks away when he catches her. Oh my god. And then she knows now and she's smiling. Oh my god. The human mannerisms in this movie is what is done so well. Everything feels natural, organic, not forced, and unbelievably wholesome. Oh my god, come on guys. Don't tease me like that.
I think it left a bigger impression on me at that time than any of the museums we went to.
Yeah, it's tiny.
What is it?
If none of your family or friends knew you were dead, then it's like not really being dead. People can invent the best and the worst for you.
That's very true.
She was only 13 when she died. That meant something to me, you know. I was that age when I first saw this.
And she has a huge fear of death.
10 years older and she's still 13, I guess.
Maybe that was kind of the catalyst of starting her fear of death.
We got a sunset here.
Yeah.
We got the Ferris wheel.
Got each other.
What?
What?
You know.
A good kissing moment.
Are you trying to say you want to kiss me?
Ayo. I'm so happy for these two.
You know, they love me more than anything in the world, and I've been raised with all the freedom they had fought for. It's another type of fight. We still have to deal with the same old shit, but we can't really know who or, you know, what the enemy is. Did your parents divorce?
Yeah, finally. They should have done it a lot sooner, but they stuck together for a while for the well-being of my sister and I. Thank you very much. Right in front of my father, they were having this big fight that he didn't really want to have me. You know, that he was really pissed off when he found out that she was...
What the heck? What type of parents do that?
You know, like my life was my own doing or something. You know, like I was crashing a big party.
Yeah, that's the way to see it.
Like, they didn't want me, but I'm here anyways.
But she just confessed to me that she spent her whole life dreaming about another man she was always in love with.
What
She
the
just
heck?
accepted her fate.
Crazy grandma? That is really sad though, and I feel like a lot of people maybe do that.
You know, it's not based in any kind of reality.
Romantic projections?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Romantic up there in the Ferris wheel. Oh, kiss me, the sun.
Aww.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me too.
What?
Okay, that was smooth. I'll give Jesse that one. That was smooth.
Oh my god, you want your palm read?
No.
No?
No,
Are you
no,
sure?
no, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, you will be all right. He's learning. Okay. Money. Everything we know is stardust. So don't forget, you are stardust.
It's such a sweet thing to say to people. A little cliche nowadays, but it's still very sweet.
Tomorrow and all your remaining days will be exactly like today. A tedious collection of hours, and you will have no time.
These human figures are always so transitory. It's funny. Transitory?
Transitory. You think this is open?
I don't know, let's try.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Looking for some kind of answers. It fascinates me how a single place can join so much pain and happiness for so many generations.
Yeah, it is very fascinating, isn't it?
I always think that I'm still this 13-year-old boy, you know, just doesn't really know how to be an adult, pretending to...
One's always young, one's always old.
For when I'll, you know, really have to do it.
Maybe he's learning to love, he's learning to grow up, and she's learning to live life in the moment, stop worrying about death.
They're married.
It's beautiful. I like that.
Stare at him.
Ran, he looks at the money. Says, yes, I do.
Oh, he takes the
That's
money
one
away.
answer.
Oh, that is so mean. That is so mean.
I'd probably be hanging around the airport, reading old magazines, crying in my coffee because you didn't come with me.
Oh.
Voluntarily decorating your blank canvas. Huh?
I'm having a great time.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like they're both having a great time. Their chemistry together is off the charts.
If we were around each other all the time, what do you think would be the first thing about me that would drive you mad?
And so finally I said, well, you know, I don't think you handle criticism too well. She flew into a rage and broke up with me, all right?
Because she doesn't handle criticism too well.
No.
Tell me,
what is it?
Nothing.
What is
Nothing
it?
at all.
Well, if it had to be something, what would it be?
The little
It had to be something. If I
beard you got there.
didn't really like this reaction back at the palm reader, you were like this rooster prick.
Yeah, you give me a word, I take the word, and then I will write a poem with the word inside.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
Okay.
All right, great.
So?
Wait, I'm actually really excited.
Great. Milkshake.
Milkshake. Okay, milkshake.
All right, so...
He's like, never got that one before.
were we having our first fight back there?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
I wouldn't really say it was a fight. It was more of a criticism.
Why does everyone think conflict is so bad? There's a lot of good things
Yeah.
coming out of conflict.
Conflict is integral to a relationship. You just have to learn how to handle it.
You have a train. Competitiveness.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Watch this be the most profound poem of all time.
Look at those big eyes. See what you mean to me. Sweet cakes and milkshakes. That's how it could be. Don't you know me? Don't you know me by now?
That was a good poem. I need to read that and analyze it.
Bye.
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 He's so happy with himself.
That's wonderful, no?
Yeah.
I wonder if they were almost fulfilling a desire for him to prove to himself that he can do stuff like this.
Word in, you know, whatever, milkshake.
You have to stop doubting. Stop doubting people.
Nothing, I loved it. It was great.
This is the second time in this movie that he's doubted someone. Those tables are not made for shorter people, are they? This is kind of a really cool, like, place.
We haven't talked about this yet, but are you dating anyone? You got a boyfriend waiting on you back in Paris or anything like that?
You think she's having an affair? I don't think she's that kind of person.
Very stupid, ugly, bad in bed, alcoholic. You know.
Real prize winner.
Yeah, you really won the jackpot on this guy.
Loved him too much, and you know, I was blocking his artistic expression and stuff. Shit.
What does that even mean?
Call the police.
Should you call the police?
She was, oh man, she was totally convinced I was really gonna do it, you know? Even though he's gonna die from an accident or, you know, 1,000 kilometers away and I'm gonna be the one accused, you know?
Yeah, possible.
What?
Are you with anyone?
It's funny how we managed to avoid this subject for so long, isn't it?
Wait, is he actually with someone?
We're selfish.
I know. So, who just broke up with you?
Yeah, he definitely went to Europe to avoid this breakup.
Read Hemingway in Paris and shit like that, you know? I saved up my money all spring to fly to Madrid and spend the summer with my girlfriend.
Oh, she was the friend in Madrid. Obviously, he stuttered when he said that at the start of the movie.
It's when you remember how little you thought about the people you broke up with, and you realize that is how little they're thinking about you.
Oh, that is so true. I never thought of it like that. Oh.
Concentrate in bright colors.
Oh, did it work?
Well,
Didn't help your pinball.
no.
No, she's really bad at pinball, but he's also pretty trash.
Sex, like, all the time, you know? And they turn out to be, like, the least violent, the most peaceful, the most happy, you know? So, I mean...
It's because they're having sex all the time. What's not to love about that?
You know what?
What?
On this island, you know, I think there will be only like maybe 43 men left. because they would have killed each other, you know, trying to fuck this poor woman, you know what I mean? And on
That is very true as well.
Hey, no big deal. I'm not gonna get uptight about this, right?
yeah, plus, you know, there were 4 of them. Right?
Yeah, exactly. There's 4 of them, right? But she turns around, she says, "Fuck you, dickheads," and I'm like,
Oh my, this guy that's walking in the background's like, hello?
Well, anyway, it's depressing. I mean, you know what?
"What? You want to stop talking about this?"
Yeah, I hate it. You know, man, woman, you know, there's no end.
I love the philosophical debates they are getting in because they do have different worldviews, which makes these conversations very interesting. My clapping was in sync with everyone in the movie's clapping. Like, ugh. It felt good.
They encourage the birthing woman to dance with them so as to make the birth less painful.
Yeah.
And when the baby is born, they all dance in celebration.
Wow.
I feel like it would be hard to dance when you're 9 months pregnant. Like, I don't know, I've never been pregnant before, but I just feel like it would be hard.
Men are lucky we don't bite off their head after mating. Certain insects do that, you know, like spiders and stuff.
It's true, insects do do that.
We at least let you live. What are you...
We at least let you live.
But isn't everything we're doing in life a way to be loved a little more?
So true.
That he had never really given anything of himself. His life was for no one and nothing. He was
That
almost
would-
crying saying that.
Be a sad realization.
If there's any kind of magic in this world, it must be in the attempt of understanding someone, sharing something. I know, it's almost impossible to succeed, but who cares, really? The answer must be in the attempt.
Beautiful, beautiful scene, beautiful sequence. Something else I've noticed is that there is no soundtrack in this movie besides the very start. It's all been diegetic sound that is in the scene, in the world that the characters are in. It makes you be in this world with them, be there for the night. I feel like I'm third wheeling them, but I'm also in the relationship. It's crazy, it's so good.
I mean, where is the waitress? In New York, this person would be out of a job.
Oh my god. That's my dad when we go to places. Look at the service.
Dring, dring. Dring, dring. Pick up. Pick up the...
You're the best friend.
He convinced me. I mean, actually, I was ready to get off the train with him after talking to him a short while. He was...
Aww, that's so cute.
I think that's when I fell for him.
Ooh.
He has beautiful blue eyes, nice pink lips, greasy hair. I like to feel his eyes on me when I look away.
The scene in the record shop in the booth comes to mind.
He must be scared to death. He must be thinking I'm this manipulative, mean woman.
Which I am. No.
Bring, bring, bring. I usually get this guy's answering machine. Bring.
Hi, dude. What?
Absolutely perfect.
I know. And you know how they say we're all each other's demons and angels? Well, she was literally a Botticelli angel. Just...
Aww.
I wouldn't worry about that.
No.
No, I'm sure she was not judging you. No, and by the way, she sat next to you, no? I'm sure she did it in purpose.
Oh, she did it on purpose. I mean, she did look at him when she sat down.
Don't they?
Yeah.
When she answered the phone, it says, "Sup, dude?" Absolutely perfect.
After tomorrow morning, we're probably never gonna see each other again, right?
You will. I promise you will.
We see each other again?
He's like, I'm offended that you thought of that.
Well...
He's like, I'm moving to Paris.
What? What?
Now let's just be rational adults about this.
My dog is sitting right here.
What do you think? Tonight's it, huh? I mean, that... Tonight's our only night.
I hope tonight's not it.
What's done? No delusions, no projections. We'll just make tonight great.
Yeah, make the most of the night, baby.
We should do some kind of handshake. You know? Give me your hand.
The handshake of love and destiny.
It's depressing now.
I was literally just about to say this.
When we're gonna have to say goodbye tomorrow.
We can say goodbye now. Now I wouldn't have to worry about it in the morning.
Oh my god.
Au revoir.
Later.
Later.
Come on, Bucks, let's go. Let's go outside. Here's your ball as well. Look, your ball. Let's go. She's a crazy dog, guys. She's an absolute menace to society, and I love her. Why are there so many cool bars and stuff in Vienna? Now I want to go.
Your hand? Okay.
So trusting. Wow.
For the greatest night in your life.
Thank you.
Oh, what a nice guy. Give him a hug.
But something was always wrong. I wished I'd been with someone else.
Oh my god. But not this time.
What about a rational adult decision?
Yeah.
Let's not be adults in this situation.
I think that's why so many people hate themselves. Seriously. It's just they are sick to death of being around themselves. And again. See, I've heard all those stories. So, of course I'm...
Like hundreds of times, too. That makes a lot of sense.
Stuff like that.
Fucking?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. What is on your mind?
Alright.
It's very stupid.
No, it's okay.
You don't make me feel bad. I wonder who else you're with. I'll miss you.
I can see that. That makes sense.
I know.
It's very valid, and I would also probably think that way.
We should.
No, then it's like some male fantasy. Meet a French girl on a train, fuck her, and never see her again. And then have this great
Alright,
story to
alright.
tell.
I would marry you. Right? And maybe that's a lot of romantic bullshit, but people have gotten married for a lot less.
It's true. That is true.
I think I had decided I wanted to sleep with you when we got off the train. Now that we've talked so much, I don't know anymore.
Actually, I kind of like what she said there, because it was like he was kind of just a cute guy that she wanted to sleep with and stuff, but now that she's actually gotten to know him, gotten to understand him, she's seen past that. She's seen more to him. She's seeing him as more of a person, someone she actually really cares about instead of just a hookup. Imagine if you were just walking around this public park and you saw these two making out in the dirt. Oh, don't miss your flight though, Jesse. Let's have a dance. Yeah.
I never forget you or all this.
Okay, me too.
A mental picture. You can really feel them grasping onto each other, really trying to slow down the minutes and the seconds.
And time will have his fancy. Tomorrow or today. Something like that.
When you just bust out a whole paragraph of poetry and then you say something like that.
I really fall in love when I know everything about someone. The way he's gonna part his hair, which shirt he's gonna wear that day.
Isn't that really
Knowing
true
the
love?
exact...
Knowing everything about someone and accepting both their faults and their good.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We didn't go to those guys' play.
I know you didn't. I have been wanting to watch that play.
Oh no, we missed it.
They're probably so disappointed in you.
Problem.
I should get on this one.
Right here? You want to get on it? All right.
Yeah.
How do you even say goodbye?
I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. The train is about to leave.
Seeing each other again, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either.
You don't either?
I was waiting for you to say it.
Why didn't you say something?
I was afraid maybe you didn't want to see me.
All right.
Of course he does.
Maybe we should meet here in 5 years or something.
All right.
5 years.
How about 6 months?
6 months?
Yeah.
It's gonna be freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah. December.
December, yeah. Now listen, it's a train ride for you. I gotta fly all the way over here and shit like that, all right? But I'm gonna be here.
Okay, me too.
All right.
Aw, so in 6 months they get to see each other again. That makes me so happy.
Goodbye.
Over.
Later.
Later.
Oh. Actually, you're so annoying. You're so annoying. You're trying to watch this movie and have a good time. You still see the wine bottle. This makes me very happy, but also sad. I wish they could have stayed together, but I understand why they didn't. And that was my reaction to Before Sunrise, the 1995 romance drama starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Delpy? I think it's Delpy. I'm gonna be honest, I'm fairly speechless after this movie. I don't really know what to say besides that I absolutely adored this movie. It is definitely a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to do. One of my favorite romantic movies of all time, and I've only seen this one once, but it was done so well. The chemistry between Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy was absolutely off the charts. You could feel the love for each other. The dialogue of this movie, the script was so tight, so well written. The camera work in this movie, the sound design of this movie, everything about it just really, really worked, and it just delivered one of the most emotionally impactful, well created romantic movies and just, I guess, character-driven films that I've seen in a really long time, because while this is a romantic movie, it's also kind of a look at human nature, and there was a lot of philosophical discussion in this movie between these two characters, and both characters have a very, not a very varied moral compass, I guess, but they do have their differences, and it does lead to some very interesting topics and interesting conversations. And so while this is a movie about two lovers who are in Vienna together for a whole night before they both have to depart the next morning, it's also sort of a deconstruction of relationships, of human nature, and I just found it so memorable. I will be thinking about this movie for a really long time. I don't know how good this review is going to be, just because I'm just really thinking, my brain is going in like overdrive at the moment thinking about this movie, and there's a part of me that didn't even want to do a review for this movie after the video, just because I really just want to sit down and just think about it and just lets my brain really ponder, like Ethan Hawke's character Jesse on the train, really just sit there and think about this movie, you know. And I, for some reason, when I watch a movie like this and I start talking about it, just part of me that's like, I might ruin the idea of this movie, or I might ruin the concept of this movie to myself while talking about it. But if I just sit there and think about the movie and just let it ruminate inside my head for a really long time, then the movie kind of stays as good as it was. But I don't think that's really the case. I think that's just me being paranoid that me talking about this movie may ruin the movie in some aspects, because when I talk about a movie I try and look at faults and stuff, and with this is a type of movie I just want to sit on my bed or sit on the couch and just stare at the blank screen when the movie's over and just think about it. You know, that's the type of movie that I feel like this is. But I'm going to try and get into some review. There are going to be no negative things in this review because there are no negative things about this movie in my opinion. I think this movie is pretty much perfection in terms of the genre that you want this movie to be in, as well as the actual camera work, script, sound design, actors, abilities and stuff. I think everything about this movie was done on an incredibly high level. But getting into the reviews of this movie, as I always do at the start of my reviews, even though I'm already 4 minutes in and I haven't even gotten really to the review, it's just really been my thoughts on not wanting to do the review. 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this movie is very well loved. I knew these reviews going into the movie because a bunch of my friends had given reviews to this movie and basically back to back, like day after day after day sessions. So I really wanted to see this movie because I saw the good reviews. So I knew it had good reviews, and now I know that it lives up to those good reviews. I know that if you don't like dialogue in movies, you're not going to like this movie. But if you don't like this movie, then I think that you are crazy, because the dialogue is just so well written and the characters are so lovable and the interactions between them are so human. Getting into the music was not that existent in the movie. It was only at the very start, at the very end. I liked that the music only was in the movie, like the non-diegetic music was only in the movie when the characters were separated from each other. Once the characters came together, they were talking in the lounge of the car, and when they were even getting onto the train at the end of the movie, when Celine was getting on the train at the end of the movie, there was no music. It's all this diegetic sound, the sound of the train station, the sound of the train moving, the sound of the bar, the sound of the club, the sound of the streets, the sound of the night. You know, it's all this diegetic sound and there's no music, and it's only when the characters are apart the music starts to play. And I found that very, very interesting. Does it mean something? Maybe. Do I have an answer for you right now? No, I don't, because I really want to just think about it. But that is just something that I noticed, and maybe you can come up with your own interpretation of why that is a thing, and I will probably come up with my own interpretation in a couple days or weeks or months or second time watching this movie or whenever it pops into my head. But yeah, I thought that the sound design, the actual universe of these two characters, I guess only having these diegetic sounds, there's no other music playing while they're together, it really brought you into this world. It made me really feel like I was there with them, and the time felt like it was however long they were there for what, like 15 hours, 14 hours, something like that. I really felt like I was there with them for that long. I felt like both a third wheel looking into their conversations, but at the same time I felt like I was actually in this relationship and I was part of this relationship. It was like which I thought was very, very interesting and something that I really, really loved. And I really like the sound design. It's not that noticeable because there's no music, so you don't really notice anything, but it's done so well because it integrates you into this world and it integrates you into them, and it puts the focus on these two characters instead of maybe an amazing score or some crazy other sound or something like that. The focus is on the sounds of the voices of those two characters, of our protagonists. The dialogue and the camera work, I'm going to put them in the same category because they kind of both work together hand in hand to deliver some amazing sequences. And when I say the camera work in this movie was basically as simplistic as it comes. So you stick a tripod down, camera doesn't move, and the actors are just sitting there and just talking. It's as simplistic as it comes, but it proved to be so effective because one, Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, I don't know if Delpy is actually, I feel like I don't want to say Delpy and then that to be wrong, but Delpy I think is spelt differently. So Julie Delpy, their acting ability is off the charts and they help to really bring those sequences to life. But the stillness of the camera integrates you as long with the sound design, and then also the acting and the script. The stillness of the camera helps to really ground you into that sequence, bring you into that sequence. It's almost like you're sitting in a chair and just watching them as they talk, or you're just walking behind them as they're walking through the carnival or something like that, or you're in the cabin with them in the Ferris wheel. You know, the stillness of the camera never takes you out of the moment to go, wow, look at this camera work. It grounds you in this very, again, grounded reality, this human reality, this realistic reality that these characters are living in right then. And I thought the camera work was excellent, but also the script was out of this world. There were so many amazing philosophical debates to be had, amazing character choices, I guess, character things. But my favorite moments of the script were not the philosophical debates, which were awesome, or even just the topics of human nature, the topics of society, the topics of death or life or relationships. My favorite moments in the script were the moments that felt very human, and a lot of that was the pause. And I don't know if that was in the script or if it was the actors just acting it out, but I'm assuming that some of it was in the script, maybe written like awkwardness here and stuff like that, and the actors really used all of their ability to bring that to life. But there were a lot of moments of pause in this movie that felt insanely human, and the first example of that is when they're on the lounge together in the train in the very first sequence at the start of the movie, and the conversation is so naturally done, and it is so well executed from the moment they meet each other to the moment they get off the train together. It feels like a natural progression. It doesn't feel like a forced thing where they need to have these two characters get off the train together at the same time, but they're both strangers, so they need to find a way to work around that. The conversation starts in this awkward phase where they're kind of asking each other these very generic questions, but they don't really know how to ask each other these generic questions, or they don't really know what to say to each other. So someone will ask a question, it'll be this short-ish answer, there'll be this awkward pause, someone will look out the window, the other person will ask kind of the same question back. You know, it feels like this awkward conversation that you've always had with people. It's this human thing that everyone goes through when they first meeting someone. A lot of people, at least I know I do, go through these awkward startup of the conversations. Like, how do you start a conversation? How do you keep a conversation going with a stranger? And then as they keep talking, you can see them getting more comfortable. They're laughing, their body language changes from kind of more stiff, looking out the window, not really looking at each other too much, to really looking at each other, kind of hand on the table. Like, Celine's hand went onto the table, leaning forward towards each other, the eye contact, you know, just the dialogue felt smoother, it was faster paced, there was more laughing. It really was this natural progression of awkwardness to kind of knowingness, knowing the person, at least knowing the person enough to not really call them a stranger anymore, even though they didn't know each other's names. And I thought that that dialogue was also present, like that type of progression of dialogue was present throughout the entire movie. You know, they started super awkward and they ended as lovers, you know, and then the progression of the dialogue throughout the movie indicated how far into this relationship they had gotten just by how they were talking to each other, which I thought was phenomenal. Also, one of my favorite sequences in the entire movie was when they were in that record booth, the listening booth or whatever together, and it was just complete silence save for that musical score, which was, I guess, the only time the music was in that. Actually, no, that was diegetic music as well, wasn't it? It wasn't score, that was diegetic music as well. But they were just sitting there, it was silence, it was one shot, looking up at the characters, and they were both kind of awkwardly looking at each other, then looking away. One would look and the other one would turn around and catch them looking, they'd look away and smile, and then it was like this back and forth. And I don't know, it was just such a beautiful sequence. It really showed, don't tell, how much they liked each other at that moment in time, and how much they were kind of falling for each other, and they were kind of making each other happy. But there were no words spoken, but you get the message. You can see the characters kind of understand the message with each other because they're kind of being all awkward about it, but at the same time, like, she knows that he's looking at her, and then he knows that she's looking at him and stuff. And so there's all of this information being displayed in this one sequence with one camera shot, a still camera shot, and just two people in a room, and getting all this information. I thought that sequence was very, very well done. That's kind of all I have to say on the movie right now. I'm not really gonna go into the philosophical stuff or more of like the deep narrative, I guess, issues that the characters bring up. I just feel like I don't want to. I don't want to. I'd rather review like the technical stuff in the movie rather than the more sociological rather than the more like the heavier stuff in this, because at the moment I just don't want to. I'd rather just think upon those topics, and as well, I don't usually review that stuff in my reviews. I usually just review the more technical aspects, sometimes diving into the more philosophical stuff, but usually it's just the technical stuff and how that elevates the rest of the movie. So I'm not going to dive into that. I'm sorry if you're disappointed that I don't do that, but I'd love to hear your discussions in the comments. If you do have like an opinion or just something that you'd like people to hear on the topic of something that the characters were talking about. I don't know, I think it would be interesting. But getting into the cast of this movie, it's just Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. They're basically the only characters in this entire thing, so they're the only characters I'm going to talk about. Celine in this movie was amazing. I've never heard of Julie Delpy before. I'm so sorry if her name's like Delpy or something. I'm saying Delpy because Delpy, I feel like Delpy is not a real name, but at the same time, anything could really be a name. So I'm sorry if I'm now calling your name not a real name, but I thought Julie Delpy did an absolutely phenomenal job. She was amazing, and again, I've never heard of her before. Never seen her in anything, I don't think. And I don't know why. She was a masterclass. You could really feel her chemistry, her love, even sometimes her desire to be with Ethan Hawke. The way she delivered her dialogue, the way she delivered the silences were outstanding. I feel like she was definitely the quieter one of the two, but when she talked, she always seemed to be so knowledgeable. She seemed so attentive to the situation. She seemed to always know what she was going to say. I loved her so much. She had this kind of a fixation on death in a way which I found interesting. Throughout the entire movie, she would always keep bringing up death, grandmother's death, her thinking about death, spiders killing men, there's still a topic about death. I don't know, I found it really interesting, and I'd like to think upon why she was doing that a little bit more, reflect upon it, I guess. But I thought that she was amazing as Celine, and I'm really excited to see her in the next 2 movies as well, because I thought she was outstanding in this one. And second, but also finally, last but not least, is Ethan Hawke as Jesse. He was outstanding in this. I like Ethan Hawke. I haven't seen him in too many movies, and I always thought he was more of like a B-list actor. I don't really know why, but I forget what movie I saw him in before, but in this one, I don't know why he's not in like every romance movie. He was phenomenal in this movie. Again, his chemistry with Julie was off the charts. I loved the charm that he had. He was very charming, but like Celine said, he was also clumsy at times. He kind of was a drifter, a floater. I loved the backstory that I had. I loved the backstory that Celine had as well. I liked kind of the progression of his character, learning about love. He said he'd love someone, but it wasn't really love. Like, was it really love? And then at the end of this movie, he loves someone, and it feels to me, at least, and to him as well, like real love. I like that progression of learning about love, and maybe that helped him learn how to grow up from a 13-year-old. Maybe he's like 14 years old now or something. I don't know. I'm really liking his character, and I'm hoping he gets a really good character arc in these 3 movies. I thought Ethan Hawke did a fantastic job. And yeah, that is my reaction and review to Before Sunrise. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me and supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. I'm really, really excited for the second movie, Before Sunset or something like that. I don't remember. I think it's Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and then Before Midnight. So I'm excited for Before Sunset. It has like the exact same reviews as Before Sunrise, which is really exciting to me because it's going to be just as good. And I'm so excited to see Jesse and Celine again, some of my favorite characters. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.